Hi, Wonder Class, and welcome to our maths lesson on Tuesday, the 2nd of February 2021. Sorry, I just stumbled thinking, what month are we in? And we're already in February. So, starting off with our maths today, I would like you to have a go at pausing the screen, maybe timing yourself to have a go at these arithmetic questions. When you finish, press play and I will show you the answers. I'm going to read the questions out to you. So, number 1, 4 times 9. Number 2, 18 times 9. Number 3, what is 110 as a Roman numeral? Number 4, what number is next in the sequence? Number 5, 3 times 5. Number 6, 72 divided by 12. Number 7, half of 120. Number 8, 7,643. Add 2,321. Number 9, 6,742. Take away 2,611. And number 10, 96 divided by 12. So have a go at these questions. Pause the screen and press play. When you're ready, I will show you the answers. So here are the answers to our arithmetic. Number 1, 36. Number 2, 162. Number 3, CX. Number 4, 90. Number 5, 15. Number 6, 6. Number 7, 60. Number 8, 9,964. Number 9, 4,131. And number 10 equals 8. So let's find out what we're learning about today. So today's lesson, we're learning how to recognize equivalent fractions, part 2. So here's a task, a quick recap. Pause the screen and have a think which one is the odd one out and can you explain why? Okay, so you might have had a moment to have a look and see which one is the odd one out. So I have worked it out that all of these, except for this one, is showing me halves. So here, this is showing me a half. Here, this is showing me a half. And here is showing me a half. However, this one is not split equally and therefore is not showing me a half. So today we'll be looking at how we can use number lines to help find equivalent fractions. So here are two number lines. The first line has been divided into 2. And the second number line has been divided into 4. A bit like when I always show you that piece of paper in 2 parts, and if I fold it again, you have 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have shown you this a lot of times. Let's have a look. So here are 2 number lines. Let's fill the fractions in and find the equivalent fractions. So 0 to 1, what goes in the middle, our fraction for this would be 1 over 2. So that's if I have my piece of paper and I split my piece of paper into half. So there is my half. Now if I split it again, I would then end up with 4 pieces that make a whole. 1, 2, 3, 4. So essentially just this piece would be a quarter. So over on here, I would write a quarter, 1 over 4. Then if I had 2 quarters, because 2 quarters makes 1 half, folding my paper again, there's a quarter and there's a quarter, and 2 quarters makes a half. So that would be 1 over 2. Now, if I had 3 quarters, 1, 2, 3, that would be 3 over 4. And essentially, we have a whole, which is actually also 4 over 4 because they're the same. So that's a whole. So that's how I would show you my equivalent fractions. So complete the missing equivalent fractions. What has our number line been divided into? So our number line here we have, and we need to find out what the equivalent fractions are. So in the middle, we have, so going across, we actually have 8. So we know our number line is the whole number is 8. Now, we're going to split our number line in half. So basically, what's half of 8? So I would then move my half to be over here. So essentially, I would have 2 over 4. And if I halved 2, so basically, if I halved the number 4, I would get 2. And then if I halved the number 8, I would get 4, which is 2 over 4, which is also 1 half, because half of 2 is 1, and half of 4 is also 2, which would make 1 over 2. Over here, 2/8 is also a quarter. Half of 2 is 1, and half of 8 is 4. and 6/8, half of 6 is 3, and half of 8 equals 4. So that's how you can show how they are equivalent. So place these equivalent fractions on the number line. So you need to use your, we know that this number line is going in at 12. So this is a bit of a challenging one, which I actually struggled with because I haven't done fractions for a very long time. So before I did the video, I had to actually have a look and have a bit more of an understanding. So we have to use the 3 times tables and divide the denominator by 4. So if we take, for example, 1/4, where is 1/4 going to be on our number line? So I'm going to write a quarter here, and where would I move that quarter to? So a quarter on the number line would be the same as 3/12. So 3/12 is the same as 1/4, because what do you times 3 by to get to 12? So we times 3 by 4 to get to 12. So that's where we would put our quarter. Let's have a look at 3/4. So 3/4 over here, I'm going to draw it out again. So 3/4 is also the same as 9/12. So what have you times 3 by to get to 9? 3 times 3 equals 9, and then 4 times 3 equals 12. Okay, let's have a look. So we've done this one, and we've done this one. Now 1/6. So 1/6. Where would we put that to show it's an equivalent fraction? Now, what do you need to times 6 by to get to 12? So you times 6 by 2 to get to 12, and you would times 1 by 2. So what you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So that would be the same. So you would now put 1/6, which is the same as 2/12. So here I'm going to move it over here. Then we've got 1/3. Where would 1/3 be? So what do you do to 1/3 to find its equivalent? So we know that to get to 3 to 12, we would have to times it by 4. So what we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. So 3 times 4 equals 12, and 1 times 3 equals 3. So it would be, sorry, 3 times 4 equals 12. So because we've times it by 4, we have to do the same to the top. So 1 times 4 equals 4, sorry guys. So we would now move this up. 1/3 is the same as 4/12. And finally, we've got 2/3. So 2/3. So we've got 2/3, and to get 3 to 12, we need to do 3 times 4 equals 12. So what we do to the bottom, because we've times it by 4, we must do to the top. So what is 2 times 4? 2 times 4 equals 8. So the equivalent, 2/3, is the same as 8/12. So we can now move our 2/3 to 8/12. I know that's a bit of a tricky one, and it requires lots of thinking, lots of times tables, but I think with a lot more practice, we will be able to get that. So here are your independent tasks for today's lesson. So you've got 3 different activities, shading the bar models to represent the fractions. So the first one you can see is shade a half, B is shade 2/4, and C is shade 3/6. And then you've got 2 questions. What do you notice? And write another fraction that is equivalent to a half. Your next activity is Mo is finding equivalent fractions. So do you agree with what he's saying? Have a go, pause the screen. And your final question is find the missing numbers. So draw out the number line and see if you can find the pattern of the missing numbers. That's all for today's lesson. Let me know if you need any help, and I will also go over this as it is a new concept, something we haven't actually touched on yet in year 4, and I believe in year 3. I will go through these again in a live lesson to help you all. That's all from me today, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye, everyone.